This me to the peak. Without no regret, you got no love. Without no love, you got no regret. Without no regret, you got no love. A melody where I belong in this life.
Welcome to the T-Boys TV. We are back again with the Hat Show, or with another Hat Show, shall I say, episode 114. And yeah, just to remind you guys, there will be another one tomorrow. And it is just me on this one today. I think for the third or fourth time ever. It's the fourth. Yeah, it's me on it. My dad is gone to, or he has gone to a work meal. But he has said his thoughts on the game. Obviously, it's a game similar to last season where, you know, if you're not at the game, you can't watch it because it's not on anything. You can only listen to it and obviously see the highlights and base it on that when they come out. So he's done a little voice note like he usually does. And yeah, obviously we are linked with a player again. We're moving like linked FC at the moment. But this one looks like it's, you know, got a good chance of happening as well. So I will get into that very shortly. But before we start, apologies, I am quite late as well. My laptop wanted to move really slow. You know what it can be like. People had a black screen for ages. So I just had to turn it off and turn it back on. But yeah, like I say, it is just me today. My dad has done a voice note for his thoughts on what he was able to see of the game. Obviously, he hasn't done player ratings because, you know, he hasn't been able to watch the game like that because it wasn't on anything if he didn't go, except the radio, I believe, like last season. But obviously, I was there. I'll get into the lineup, and then obviously I'll get into what my dad said. So how I plan to do it today. So I'll get into the lineup because he didn't really touch on that, and then I'll play his voice note and then say what I thought of the half, and then I'll get into player ratings. And then obviously talk about the player we are being linked with to probably round it up. And obviously I'll go through the comments like I do during it. But yeah, obviously the lineup was a very strong lineup. Now, I did say going into this one, you know, it's one where in previous years, you know, when we've had a second choice team, it hasn't really been, you know, it hasn't really attracted you in that sense. But this one, you know, it was good because, you know, the team that I went with, you know, that's good enough to beat most championship teams. You know, so that's good. Previously, they haven't even been, you know, good enough, you know, for lower end championship teams. You know, like I remember our rotational team, the first ever vlog on T-Boys TV was obviously Stevenage. And our rotational squad back then was awful. So there's positives to look at like that. Obviously, the lineup was Krul in goal. So exactly what I wanted. I didn't want Shea. You know, I feel we've got a really good, you know, second choice in Tim Krul now. He'll probably start the odd games, but I think it will be more so Kaminsky. And if he didn't play yesterday, it wouldn't have really made sense to me because when is he going to play, you know, other than that? Because you can't really drop Kaminsky at the moment because how good he's been, you know, even though he's conceded, was it 7 goals? You know, a lot of them, he couldn't really do much. And, you know, in the games, in both games, he's prevented it from being even more. You know, he got man of the match for me against Brighton. And then he was close to getting it up there with Chong for me against Chelsea. So there's that to look at. The back three, very strong back three. You know, stronger than I thought going into this one. Lockyer actually started, which I was surprised about. I thought he wouldn't even be on the bench. But yeah, he started. Anderson, which I did go with. And Bell. Again, Bell, I thought he'd maybe play, but not in left centre-back. I thought he'd get a go in left wing-back if he was to play. Obviously, I didn't put him in my lineup, but I had a feeling he'd probably be on the bench at least. But he started. Doughty was on the right, which I said about putting him on the left. Obviously, we know he's very good on both sides. Kabore, I did put on the right. but it was Giles. It was Giles as well. See what I mean? That is strong, man. And then Ruddock and Berry were in the midfield, and I think it was 3 up front, but I think it was like Chio on the right, and then obviously Brown on the left, and then Woodrow up front. Or maybe, Woodrow maybe changed with Brown potentially, but it was something like that for me. So yeah, like I say, a very strong lineup, and it goes back to what I was saying. You look in previous years, and our second choice team's not been great. So it's good to see, that we have got a good team. When you think about it, the only thing I wasn't, a bit gutted about, and I do think he might be on his way out, is Alan Campbell wasn't starting. I did say in this one, if he doesn't start, I do think he's out the door, because obviously he hasn't played any Premier League games yet either. And it is gutting, because I feel if he does leave, Rob Edwards, I haven't seen it, but apparently he said, because on the interview, they only show certain bits on YouTube, they don't show the whole thing. But apparently he said, if he's willing to let Campbell leave if it means, Campbell gets first team football. And it's gutting for me because, Alan Campbell, all right, he hasn't really played, recently, of course. And we have got some better midfielders in, we have to be honest. Ross Barkley is our best midfielder, just due to the experience he's got in the Premier League, and it will show. But I am gutted because, especially in the Premier League, where a lot of games we're going to be more, we're going to have less possession, like we did a lot in the Championship, but it's, we're going to have to be more defensive as well. And I feel, Alan Campbell, the way he puts pressure on players, doesn't give you time to breathe. I feel we will miss that. We will miss that. So if he is on his way out, man, I'm gutted. Obviously, he did get a goal that did confirm the win against Watford in the derby as well. And he's been a massive player for us. I remember even going to away days, Blackpool away is a standout. Not this season, last season, season before. And he was out in shorts and t-shirt. He's got that warrior mentality. And I will be gutted. If he goes. I haven't really seen any people that wouldn't necessarily mind the move. Sorry, they've all been like me, gutted. And let me know what you guys think about it. But if he does end up going, man, I will be gutted. But since Rob Edwards has come in, he's not really started. So maybe they're seeing something we're not. I don't think it is the case, because me and my dad had that discussion the other day. My dad was like, that can't really be the case. And he's got a point, because Lockyer was obviously talking about players, obviously done that thing, best finisher, best trainer, all of that. If you saw that was on before the Chelsea game, and it's on YouTube anyway. And, he said Alan Campbell's the hardest worker in training. So I really don't know what is going on. It is gutting, man. Like, even, the start of this potential, him leaving for me was when he wasn't, starting against Chelsea. On the bench against Chelsea. So it is going to be gutted, man, if he does go. I'm not going to lie. But obviously there's only a couple of days left, isn't there? 2 days. So if he is to go somewhere, it might be sorted now, but just not released. Because he, like I said, he wasn't even on the bench against Chelsea. Nowhere to be seen yesterday either. So, yeah, it is going to be gutting for me if he does go. But I'll go through some comments. Big up to everyone inside. Let's go through the comments. Big up to Alex inside, mate. I hope you're well. Big up yourself for tuning in. He says evening. Big up Stephen. Big up yourself, mate. Yes, Ty. Big up yourself, mate. Hope you're well. Big up to Spencer. He says, hey T, Alex and Stephen. Big up yourself, mate. Yeah, I was thinking of getting someone on, but I don't know. I'll give it, one by myself. Have a little more of a discussion with you guys. I felt like doing one of them, and obviously we got a big hat show tomorrow. We've got a big, collaboration pending. And my dad will be on that one tomorrow. It should be at 6 p.m. But yeah, obviously if the time changes, just keep an eye on the socials and that. But it should be 6 p.m. So yeah, evening atmosphere was really bad last night. But big up. It is. cup game, no disrespect to Gillingham, but they are currently a League Two side, so we're not going to be proper pumping for it, But a lot more people went than I thought they would, and I think a lot of people got tickets, building up to the days. It was decent where I was. I was pretty much where I usually am. Shout out to Alex when I go with him, just the row behind. And it was good where I was, as expected, because that's like one of the main bits for the atmosphere. But again, like I say, it's not really going to be a game people are going to be bouncing about. No, like I say, no disrespect to Gillingham in that sense. Says big up to me as well. Big up yourself, mate. Yeah, Liverpool as well are like that, ain't they? Yeah, I mean, I like the League Cup, but obviously, it is a major trophy for me. But then again, it's not going to be our main priority. We know this. But depending on who we get tonight, I think we should, obviously if we get like, a really good Premier League team like Man City or something, then, but if we get someone that we're more than capable of beating, then I think we should try and give it a go. Obviously, like I say, try and stay up because that will be our priority. But at the same time, we are gonna have a lot of losses this season. Let's just be real now. So let's try and get a bit of a cup run going. Like I say, depending on who we get though. So there we go with that. True, Alex, and Tuesday night. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing you got to take into account. Tuesday night as well. So yeah. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. Exactly that, mate. Nothing about an injury. So yeah, there we go. And to be fair, where I was, it was loud. It was quite loud in spells. My mate, who actually went to his first Luton game yesterday, he's not a Luton fan, he's just one of my mates that I've known for years. Well, some of you will know him. I don't know why I'm moving like I'm not. He's been on the channel. Jack. I went to it with him and he really enjoyed it, actually. And that's the thing. All of my mates that I've been with that are not Luton fans, they've all enjoyed it. So I've went with, I think, like 3 different people now that are not Luton fans, and they all enjoy it. They sort of start getting a soft spot. It's pretty sick, to be fair. Big up yourself, Caden, mate. I hope you're well. Big up yourself for tuning in. So yeah, there we go with that. I mean, yeah, Alan Campbell, mate, he would do bits for you. I think he'll go back to Scotland personally if he does go. I'm surprised I haven't seen anything anyway. And like we say, we don't really know what's going on, but it just seems like he's going to leave. But like a lot of, I'm surprised no Championship teams have been linked with him. To be honest, he's a really good player, and someone put that on. I think it's on the Instagram post of the Luton page I follow. They were saying they're surprised, Championship teams like none have been linked with him because he is a wicked player, man. Exactly, Stephen. Like the pitbull, like you call him as well. It will be gutting, man. It will be gutting if he does go. I'm not going to lie. Big up to Luke. He says, hi, how are you? I'm decent, thanks, mate. How are you? Big up yourself. I don't know what round it goes out, mate. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. So yeah, there we go. If anyone knows if it's the end of the Northern, am I still here? Can you lot still hear me? Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, it's because my StreamYard live thing stopped and I froze, but I'm back. Yeah, if anyone knows if the northern and southern section's gone now, do let us know because I'm not actually too sure on that. So yeah, take you in, you get emotions going there. Yeah, exactly. You do, mate. You absolutely do. Big up, man. Big up. Appreciate that. Hello, mate. Big up. Your live stream just popped up in my timeline. Big support to all Luton fans. Big up yourself, man. Appreciate you tuning in. And I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. With that. But yeah, that is my thoughts on the lineups. Like I said, what I'm going to do now, and the Alan Campbell, is he leaving stuff, is go through what my dad said, and then I'll say what I've got to say, and then I'll get into the player ratings. Obviously, I'll be doing them by myself. But yeah, 51-second voice note. So yeah, we'll listen to this. Let me just turn my sound up. So yeah.
my thoughts on the game last night. Yeah, it was good to get through to the next round. Looking forward to the draw. Positive going forward. Like the Premier League team, attacking wise, Brown scored a good goal. All of our goals are very good goals. A couple of players that then might try and stake a claim for the game against West Ham on Friday. Doughty played well, Berry played well, Brown particularly played well. Defensively looked still a bit shaky and it's not good. But we'll see. Krul looks like he hadn't played for a while, which is understandable. Knew it'd be a bit of a test. 3-2. Happy with that. Bring on the third round.
Yeah, like most times, I agree with what my dad said there. Obviously, he's summed it up, shortly. But yeah, all of our goals were very good. I did manage to get them on the vlog, but obviously, because you know what the poles are like at Kenilworth Road, sometimes you can't quite see it. Still got a decent angle, I felt, of the Doughty one. The Woodrow one, I literally got it as soon as the ball was released from his feet, which was a bit gutting. The Brown one, I got a good angle of that as well. But yeah, no, I didn't. I agree with him. Tim Krul. I mean, I don't think that's the only thing. Obviously, I agree with my dad, and I hear what he's saying at times. But I think Krul made some wicked saves. Obviously, I will get into it, in the player ratings. But I think he was brilliant, and that's why I would have put him in anyway, like I did, because he's got that experience. And if we've got a keeper like that who's not even going to be the main starter, let's use him, man. Because when is he going to be used other than that? Because like I said earlier, you can't drop Kaminsky, on how he's been. Yeah, he's conceded 7 goals, but take it into account. Look at the teams we're playing, and also look at the fact that if you've actually watched the games, which obviously most of you would have because you're Luton fans, and neutrals obviously like to see how we're doing in that so far, and you'd have seen he's prevented it from being even more, in both of them games. So you got to take that into account. But yeah, all of our goals are good. I will get into Brown later because there's a massive talking point I want to talk about Brown. But yeah, all of our goals were good. And to be fair, all the goals were good. Even their goals I felt were decent. Krul was unlucky on their second one, but overall, I thought it was good. Obviously, we both got our score prediction right, me and my dad. We both went with a 3-2 victory. We just knew. Well, I did anyway, and obviously he did based on the score. But I went with a 3-2 because I know what we like historically in this cup, especially since I've been doing the content. Drew 2-2 with Stevenage in normal time, lost 3-0 on penalties. Obviously. When we played Newport County last season, we lost 3-2. So I just knew we were going to do it the hard way. But I also felt, first game at Kenilworth Road, we were going to do it. We were going to get the wins, with the new stand. And I just knew we would do it the hard way, though, because we do like doing that, don't we? So, yeah, that was my thoughts on the game, overall. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings. Let's dive into the player ratings. Obviously, big up to my dad for that. So obviously in goal, Tim Krul, like I said, I thought he made some good saves. There was a moment at 2-2, where they could have made it 2-2. Bell, to be fair, he was unlucky there, I felt. He slipped. But you can still see that we need a defender. You can't deny that. Obviously, big up to Bell, but that is not his natural position, and he does get caught out. But like I said, there he was unlucky. He slipped. Big up to Bell, actually, as well. I think that was his 100th appearance. I want to say it was his 100th. I don't know why. I've got 100 or 50 in my head. It was his 100th appearance. There you go, on the Instagram. So shout out to him for that. And he actually put truly grateful. And to be fair, I said it about him. He is the one, the player that is that has that communication with the fans the most from what I've seen. I remember going Burnley away last year. I've mentioned it a few times on the Hat Show. And, I remember he was speaking to fans. Me and British Chap, shout out to him as well. We're going around the corner. And, we see, loads of people surrounding someone. It's like, what's going on here? And then we saw it was Bell, and yeah, it was sick, man. It was sick. He was just talking to a load of fans after the game. And yeah, you know, you can tell he loves being at the club, you know, truly grateful, saying stuff like that. And yeah, just big up to him, man. Big up to him. Obviously, it's not, you know, we have to be real, it's not been the greatest of starts from him in the Premier League. He's not the only player. But again, it's because he's not playing in that, you know, normal position. But it's difficult to just can't really chuck Giles out because, you know, he's a new signing and he's very deadly at crosses. So, you know, top assister in the Championship last season, you know, from you know, fullbacks. So, yeah, that is that. But yeah, Krul made some good saves. There was also a moment where it was 3-2 and he made a save. I didn't really see it first time, but obviously they got a corner for it. So I thought Krul was decent. In this game. You know, punched it away at the time. That was probably maybe not the best of things he done because, you know, it went to their player. But then again, something we need to improve on. Same as last season, I felt, even when we were, you know, fighting, like winning every game with second balls. But yeah, Tim Krul thought he was decent. And, you know, my mate who was there, he said, you know, obviously, he said maybe Tim Krul could have got his man of the match, you know, for that save when it was 2-1. And that was a wicked save, man. With his, you know, with his leg. So for me, I'm gonna go. I was impressed with Krul, man. I was impressed with him. I'll go over 8. You know, like my dad said, he hasn't played football for a while. You know, as well. So I don't know when exactly his last game was, but obviously we know at Norwich, towards the end of it, he was on the bench. So yeah, I'll go with 8. Feel free to do yours as well. Let's go through some comments as well. Yeah, obviously the Brown goal. Yeah, I'll get into Brown's rating in a bit. Yeah, please do if you haven't already. He would have subscribed to comment because we have got subscribers only. So yeah, big up for that. Krul punches a little too much. Yeah, he does. He does. I'm not going to lie. Bell 100 up. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, it seems like it, doesn't it? It does seem like it. But yeah, it's all interesting. But yeah, moving on to the back three. We'll start off with Lockyer. I can't really remember too much of Lockyer in this game, if I'm being honest. Obviously, last season, when we was in the first round at home, he scored, but he was pretty poor defensively. And obviously that was the time where he was questioning, you know, will he play again or any time soon anyway for Luton? And then obviously Sonny Bradley got injured and the rest is, you know, history really for Lockyer. Become the captain and, you know, led us to win the playoffs, you know, with the sense of being the captain, scoring the, you know, one of the vital goals in the semi-final, second leg. But yeah, I didn't really see too much from him in a good or bad way, really. So Lockyer, I'm just going to go over 7 because I can't really remember too much from him, if I'm being honest. And obviously he did come off in the second half pretty much straight away for Reece Burke, which obviously was the substitution in the playoff final as well. So yeah, that is that. Moving on to the next player, Anderson. Obviously, I said I would start him in this game. I thought he was very composed, which is something I have noticed heavily since he's come into the club. Few misplaced passes, but overall, you know, when he was on the ball, like I said, he looked composed, made good passes, done the right things. So for me, for Anderson, I'll go over 7.5 for Anderson. Moving on to Bell. Like I said, he had that unfortunate moment where he slipped. He was unlucky there, to be fair. You know, you could still see that he's not quite, you know, great in that position. You know, he was struggling a little bit, let's be honest. You know, and these are League 2 players. But again, it's not his natural position. But it just shows that we do need to get someone there soon as, really. Like I say, obviously, we are being linked heavily with someone. Just waiting for a medical to happen, which I'll get into. But yeah, Bell, I'll go over 6.5, the lowest rating so far. Like I say, he's just not great in that position, but it's because it's not his position. Do you know what I mean? But he was struggling at times. It might seem a bit low to some people, but yeah, man. So yeah, let's go through some comments. Stephen's thoughts on it. Captain, bit of a bystander last night. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, but again, you got to remember, you know, obviously he's still getting into the swing of things when you think about it. Because obviously that, you know, horrific, you know, head injury he had. But yeah, no, I agree. Mads was evolved. Well done. Yeah, he done well. Like I say, a few misplaced passes, but nothing. You know, it weren't awful. And then moving on to the wing backs. We'll start off with Doughty. What a goal! What a goal that was. You know, very smart. You know, idea for the free kick. And yeah, he was really good. Obviously, he is a player that's pushing to try and, you know, start games. When he come on against Chelsea as well, he was very good alongside Ruddock, Brown, etc. And he was very good. Obviously, this game as well, he was on the left and the right again. Obviously, when Giles come off, Kabore come on, and obviously he's on the right. So obviously Doughty moved over to the left after being on the right. And yeah, he was really good. That goal was wicked. You know, so again, he gets a high rating for me. And he's up there for man of the match. But he's not quite my man of the match in this one. I will go with, you know what? Because he played two positions as well. Played it really well. You know, a few good crosses as well. I'll go over 9.5. I'm going to go really high rating for him. So yeah, that's my rating there for Doughty. Doughty got in his locker. Yeah, exactly. Bell rating, understand. Okay, yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to Giles. Better than the other day. Needed to be. You know, Giles, because we know how good he is at crosses, we've got a high expectation for him when it comes to crosses. And obviously, the other day against Chelsea, they were poor. You know, they weren't even going past the first man. This game, he was decent. There was a moment, actually, I remember, closing in on the first half where, you know, him and he was limping. And I was saying to my mate, Jack, you know, I think we need to take him off. Obviously, Jack's a neutral, but, you know, I was just saying, I think we need to take him off at half time. Don't risk it. Because, you know, I feel we should start him against West Ham, you know, especially with how direct his crosses are and we're at home. But he did come off. He didn't quite come off straight away, but he did come off. But he was decent. He was better. But I'm not going to go too high for him. I'm going to go over 7 for Giles in this one. Moving on to the next player. So that's obviously the wing-backs done and the defence and the keeper. We'll start off with Ruddock. He was good in this game, you know, pulling good strings of passes, short passes, long passes. His long passes have got so much better since he's been in the Championship with us. You know, some of the way he can switch the ball across is phenomenal. It's improved massively. You know, sometimes he takes a bit of a while on the ball. You know, he can be a bit slow on the ball, but most of this game, mate, he was good. And yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. Go over 7.5 for Ruddock. Moving on to the next player, Berry. Again, I felt Berry was similar to Lockyer in the sense where, you know, he's sort of a bystander, you know, like Stephen said earlier with Lockyer. So again, I'm just going to go with a 7 for Berry. Can't really remember too much except the assist. Well, he got 2 assists. Obviously, he did lay it out to Doughty for the goal and obviously assisted the first. But I don't know. You know, I thought this would be a game for Berry to bag a goal, you know. But do you know what? I'll go a little bit higher, actually, because he did get 2 assists. I'll go over 7.5. You know, it wasn't like the assists, you know, were like really like through ball passes. You know, obviously it was good, you know, good build-up play for the Doughty goal. And yeah, you know, he got the assist for the first as well. But yeah, you know, didn't really see Berry like I thought I would, to be honest, in this game. Obviously, I did say to start him as well going into this one. So yeah, we'll go through some comments. Stephen says Giles didn't really seem up for this. Weird playing him, really. Yeah, I was surprised that we played him, mate. I thought he was another player where he wouldn't be on the bench going into this one, but he was. Ruddock wants his place back. Yeah, he does. There's a lot of players. That's good, though. That's good that they've got that, hungry competition, that we've got players like that. Obviously, he was very good when he come on against Chelsea. Doughty, Brown, like I said, they're all pushing. Even Brown against Brighton, he was the reason we got that penalty. So, totally agree there. Berry, ball watching, most could have done more. He is an impact player. Yeah, he's definitely a player that should come on from the bench. But obviously, it makes sense in this game, because he doesn't start. Obviously, in the more important games, let's be honest. So, yeah, I was a little bit surprised I didn't see more from him, to be honest. But moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Chio. Energy, very good energy. We've seen that since he's come in. He can run for days. He's not afraid to take on anyone. And it was good, impressive performance from Chio. I didn't quite get a goal or anything, but he was good going forward. He was very good going forward. And a few people said they reckon he will start and put him in their starting lineup. I didn't quite. Obviously, I went with two up front, Woodrow and Brown. But this seemed like it was, two and then the striker up. Just above. But yeah, he was good, man. He was good. I was impressed with Chio. Like I say, he didn't score or anything, but his energy levels were there, and he done well, man. He done well. He worked hard. So I'll go with 7.5 for Chio. And then moving on to Brown. Massive shout out to Brown. Now this is where I want to talk about Brown. Brown for me, he's got to get given a chance to start. It might even be on Friday. Like I say, the games he's come on, he's affected the games. Even though the Chelsea one, we were dead and buried by the time he come on. The energy levels, Brighton, like I say, he was the reason we got the penalty. And obviously he scored, very early on in this game. Very good finish as well. And he's looking hungry, man. He's looking hungry. So for me, I would start him on Friday. That's one player given away when it comes to the lineup that I would go with. But he's got to start for me. He has got to start because he is looking very good, man. I'm not going to lie. And it's looking like a very good signing at this current moment in time. So, yeah, would you start him? Let me know. Would you start him against West Ham? But he looked very good, and he's my man of the match. He is my man of the match in this game. So I'm going with a 10. Didn't do anything wrong. Scored a great goal. Come off in the 81st minute, so with 9 minutes left of normal time. And yeah, he was really good, man. Again, similar to Chio as well, where the energy levels were just there. So yeah, that's upon that. And then moving on to the last player that started, Woodrow. Good to see him score, man. Good to see him score. Obviously, a lot of people inside the club have said he's the best finisher at the club. Rob Edwards said it last season when we beat Norwich, obviously when Woodrow scored the winner. And then obviously Lockyer said it in that thing where he was discussing all the players, like I said earlier. And yeah, Woodrow, like I say, man, good to see him score. I would have started him in this game. Obviously, he did start. Very good goal as well. I'm gutted I didn't get the whole of the goal. Obviously, you got the pole there as well, which is a bit gutting, but brilliant finish, when I look back at it. And I knew it's a good goal anyway, but just wanted to see it from different angles. And yeah, wicked goal from him. Celebration was cold, as they say. So I'm going with, for Woodrow, I'm going with a 9. I was very impressed with him, and his goal was the one that pretty much sealed it, really. Even though they made it 3-2 and I'd still had a few decent chances, his was the one that put the nail in the coffin for me, because I said, to Jack, who I went with, I said, they're putting pressure on us, mate. I'm telling you now, Luton never do it the hard way, because he predicted 2-0. I said, mate, trust me, it'll be like 3-2. Watch, because we always do it the hard way. And then I was saying to him, as soon as Woodrow's got that goal, he's sealed it. He's sealed it. So, yeah, man, that is that. And then, yeah, moving on to the players that come on for Luton. So in this one, we made 4 changes. Reece Burke, he was good when he come on. I think there was one little pass he done, and we were like, "What is he doing?" But other than that, he was good. He looked composed. So I'll just go over 7 for Reece Burke. Kabore come on, tried to go forward. Obviously, like I said, that meant Doughty moves over to the left. Kabore obviously on the right. Tried to go forward a couple of times. I think it was him that gave away a free kick at one point. I was just like, "What are you doing?" Because it was just an annoying free kick to give away. And he has done that a few times, since he's been on this loan move at Luton. Brighton, he started off well for me. But then as the game went on, he's doing some silly fouls. And there was one really good tackle. And then, he got a yellow card after that. And it was just annoying. And I didn't think he was great against Chelsea, to be honest. There was a cross he did in that game where it was pretty awful. But he was okay in this game. He was okay. So for me, I'll go over 6.5, which might sound quite low because I did give Bell that as well. But yeah, especially with Kabore being on loan from Man City, I just expect more. Especially that they want to keep hold of him. Like, show why they want to, show us why Man City want to keep hold of you. Because Man City are no mugs. Champions of Europe, treble, winners. So, come on, man. Like, show why they want you. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them. It's one of them. And then, yeah, moving on to the next one that come on. Again, I was very surprised when I saw this guy on the bench. I didn't actually go through the bench, did I? At the start, Ross Barkley. Jeez, I thought again he was another player that would be fully rested, but he come on, showed what his experience is good at. The range of passing. He could have had a shot a few times, to be fair, but he didn't. He played it across or passed it to someone who was near him. He was okay. Obviously, he's still getting up to the speed. You got to think he hasn't played football for a while, except these last 2 recent games. But he will show his worth and why we got him, of course, at some point. So for Ross Barkley, I'll just go over 7. And then moving on to the next one, Nakamba. He was all right when he come on, better than what we've seen recently, where he's again similar to Kabore, where he's been giving away silly fouls. He was decent. Again, I'll just go over another 7. And then moving on to Elijah, who come on towards the end, like I say, 9 minutes left of normal time. It was one where I've just realised the whole time I haven't changed it to player ratings, but there we go. He was, he gave away the ball at one point, but he has got strengths that will benefit us that Brown, necessarily hasn't got yet. Which is why some people might still start Elijah against West Ham. But I think we need to give Brown a chance, man. He's looked good every time he's come on. Like I said, got an early goal yesterday. So yeah, Elijah, the last rating, because there was 9 minutes left. Not a lot happened from for us. Then we didn't score again. I'll just go over. It's going to be harsh, but I'm going to go over 6. For Elijah, which is actually the lowest rating, but again, he come on with 9 minutes, so it's one of them. Let's go through some comments. Where are we on the comments? There we are. Chio, he was giving his all look like a proper pro. His time will come. Yeah, again, he's another one that I believe will be starting soon. Brown, he is pushing, definitely knocking Edwards' door. Exactly. Jackie says, hi, Ty, would definitely start Brown. Exactly. I feel we need to. I really do feel we need to. Is this Daniel? Is this Daniel? I think it is. Big up yourself. I think it is. Yeah, I think that's you in your picture, if I'm correct. So, yeah, big up yourself if it is, mate. Well, even if it's not, big up yourself. So, yeah. Woodrow, that goal will give him confidence, well placed, exactly, and that links to what Rob Edwards has said, Lockyer, when it comes to best finisher at the club. Very well placed goal, like you say. Burke straight swap, yeah, exactly. Like I say, we've seen that substitute before. Kabore could, I think you meant to put couldn't there, didn't you? Get to grips with the speed of the game. If so, I do agree. Barkley showed up his range of passing, easy run out. Yeah, exactly. Campbell wasn't needed really. Yeah, no, I agree. It will try. No, I do trust him, mate. I do trust him absolutely. I remember when he was getting heavy criticism from fans. At the start of last season, I was like, chill. Like he will come into it. And look, let's be honest, he was massive. During our playoff times. Obviously, he got the first goal in the first leg, which actually gave him the confidence, I think, to do what he done in the final. So I definitely have trust in him, mate. Don't you worry about that at all. But yeah, there you go. They are the player ratings for the Gillingham game from me. So like I say, my man of the match is Brown, closely followed by, for me personally, by Doughty and Krul. So yeah, let me know your man of the match as well. And yeah, that is all of that on the Gillingham game. Quick roundup. Got the score prediction right, me and my dad. I just knew it'd be one of them games, but it's good to see that we've actually progressed from the League Cup. And it's mad me saying this, about, historically us in the League Cup, because we have actually won it. Obviously, it weren't called the Carabao Cup, but it doesn't matter. We still won it. The Littlewoods Cup, it was called at the time. We beat Arsenal at the old Wembley. But yeah, just in recent years, we've not been great in it. So it's good to see that we progress, get a bit of money. You don't think it's an awful amount, but it's still going to help the club. And we'll see who we get tonight. And then, I probably won't do a reaction to it tonight or anything. I'll just wait to the Hat Show tomorrow. And then me and my dad will probably discuss it quickly at the start of the stream before we get into the West Ham game. So, yeah, Stephen's man of the match is Roddick. Okay, that's an interesting one. His work rate, yeah, he was good. Like I said, the range of passing has got so much better. His long passing up in the air has got so much better since he's been in the championship, been a championship player. So yeah, and yeah, he was good. But yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that's everything on the Gillingham game. Moving on to transfer news. So today, heavily, we have been linked with another Man United player. But apparently this one is, very close to being done. Apparently it's just a medical. Isaac Hayden, I think that's fell through. Since the medical talks, not really sure what happened. Maybe, his wages. I don't know. It could be anything. But, since that has been spoken about, it's just fell through. A couple of reliable sources that I, look at said it fell through as well. But yeah, Tayden Menji, I think I said his name right. He's a 21-year-old defender for Man United. Now, I looked at, see what he's all about. I do think, from what I've seen, he's decent. He looks like quite a bulky player as well, which I feel will help us. He can play as a left. We can play on the left side as centre back, all right. So obviously that's good because for me we need a left centre back. But the only thing that does worry me about this is he hasn't played in the Premier League. Because when he's been at United, he's played in the under-21s. He's played 2 games this season in the under-21s. He's been on loan to Championship teams. He was at Birmingham a few seasons ago, and then probably his best spell at the moment, I would probably say, was Derby. Even then, though, he did only play 9 games. They were in the Championship then. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting. But then again, I see what United fans are saying, that they just wish him all the best. They say they're gutted, which is interesting to me because he's not even getting in their main team. So it's interesting that they say that. Few of their fans have high expectation for him in the sense where they think he can go on to, playing Europe's elite at some point. But yeah, like I said, what I've seen of him, he's a bulky, he's quite a bulky player, and he does look decent. He does look decent, but I'm just surprised we haven't gone with someone experienced in the Premier League. Obviously, we have been rumoured with players with experience. I see one yesterday, Rob Holding. I don't know why we would get him. I don't rate him. Even though he's got the experience, I think he's a very leaky defender, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, Tanganga, them rumours just died down. So I'll take him. I think he can be good. Like I say, if Man United fans have very high, they rate him quite highly, considering he hasn't been in their first team. Then that shows a lot in itself. Like I say, bulky. He looks quite strong and physical, which is definitely what we need. And he's 21, so he's still got a lot to learn as well. But yeah, apparently the medical is being done today. Fabrizio Romano, who, as we know, when it comes to transfers, is very reliable, tweeted out, Luton Town are set to sign Tayden Menji from Manchester United. Deal agreed, as Ryan Taylor Sport reported. Permanent transfer for Menji, who's set to undergo medical tests soon. Well, it actually says Mendy on Fabrizio's thing. So that's why I said that. But yeah, Menji, of course, permanently. I don't know how much it will be. It does say on Transfer Market his current, value is 2 million. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on. But obviously, if the medical goes all well today, then it should be announced tomorrow, you would think, especially with, the West Ham game on Friday. And hopefully he can be in the squad for that. I'm not sure if he'll start because it might be a bit, too early because obviously we'd have only signed him the day before. But hopefully he could be on the bench and, hopefully we get to see what he's about pretty soon because we do need a left-sided defender. But yeah, he's rated highly, so that's positive to look at. Especially, like I say, that he hasn't even been in the United starting team. Like the first team, sorry. That's positive to look at. Like I said, he looks like he's quite bulky as well. Strong, physical. That'll help us. And like I said, it's a position we've needed to fill even since, this last season when we got in the playoffs. We needed to fill it. Same with right wing back because, when it comes to another one, because, we were bringing on midfielders, instead of the on loan right wing backs we had, obviously James Bree as well when we had him permanently. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this potential signing of Menji, obviously if it does go through. But yeah, I'm happy with getting a left-sided defender. So I'd say we needed one for ages. So yeah. We are going to find it hard getting Premiership experience. Young players, it will cost millions of wages, are not going to go there. Yeah. No, I definitely hear that. So yeah, it's all interesting, Even if we went in for someone quite experienced, that's a bit older, I don't think that's a bad shout. You've seen it in other positions. And I did say I do feel we need someone experienced in each position. Obviously, we've got it with goalkeeper and midfielder. Tim Krul in goal. Obviously, Ross Barkley in midfield. But striker and... Not that I don't think the strikers are good enough because I do think they are good enough for the Prem. Morris has already got a goal. It was a penalty, but he scored it at the end of the day, took it very well. Brown's looking like he can do well in the Prem. And, Elijah, his close control and that it shows me that he is capable of playing in the Premier League. You know, the touch, you know, the way he can control the ball, it is Premier League quality. You know, look at what he did in the playoff final. So I do have faith in them. We probably won't get experienced striking. Yeah, I can't see it now, especially with how Brown's performing as well. And defender, like I say, he played for United. He has been in and around United for ages. Obviously, he is born in Manchester as well. So it's going to be a big move for him, but it's a big opportunity, you know, be playing Premier League football. And, you know, you've got to trust the board as well. You've got to trust the board, you know, our recruitment team as well. They're very good. 9 times out of 10, they get it right. And even if they don't get it right, the player won't be there much longer. Look at Joe Morrell, for example. So, yeah, it's good that we're definitely, you know, going all out to fill that position because we do need to. You know, obviously the window closes on Friday as well. That's another thing to take into account. So it should really be announced tomorrow, you know, especially if us having a game on Friday. Hopefully he will be in the squad. I don't think he would necessarily start because obviously, like I said, he would just come in. He hasn't actually played first team football in the Premier League as well, but he'll slowly get into it and hopefully he will start at some point because I don't think he will be better than Bell in that position because it's not Bell's position. But, you know, I see a few people get rid of Bell. He's not good enough. No, I'm not on that train. It's just not his main position. And even if him and Giles, you know, during the season swap, you know, one time, not literally one game after another, but certain games Bell's in that left wing back role or left back. We might even change formation. Obviously, we did yesterday. I do think that's more because it's the cut though, and you know, give loads of players that don't usually start run out like your Woodrows and Browns, but hopefully you will soon on Friday, starting from Friday for me. So yeah, that is that. Upon that, but obviously we will need to change formation, you know, especially when we go to grounds like Anfield, Etihad, Emirates. You know, you're going to have to because of qualities the other teams have. So yeah, that is that. But if we stick with our main formation at home, the formation, because I feel we should really, you know, depending on who we're playing, but most of the time, probably every game bar, maybe Man City, I'd probably say go with the formation we go with anyway at home because we're going to be so direct, you know, putting pressure on players, not giving them time to breathe, you know, the fans on top of that as well, putting, you know, close to the pitch. So, yeah, that's what I think when it comes to that. But, yeah, that is where I think I am going to wrap it up. So just under an hour it has been. But, yeah, it's been good, man. It's been good. I know a lot of people watch us back on playback as well, so big up. And like I say, we will literally be back again tomorrow. With another hat show. My dad will be back on this one. And we've got a big preview planned for the West Ham game. So do make sure you do tune into that. Like I say, we're hoping 6 p.m. and it should be 6 p.m. Both people that are coming on, my dad and the other person, both said 6 p.m. is cool for them. So, yeah, it should be 6 p.m. But, yeah, big up everyone that tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. As for new subscribers, we did actually hit 1,800 from the vlog earlier. We're currently on 1,801 now, so big up, man. Big up. We hit over 1,800, which is good, man. Obviously, we're still on the road to 1,200. No, what am I on about? 2,000 subscribers, which will obviously take a while. But do subscribe if you are new. Do check out the vlog as well. It's currently on 61 views. 62 now. So, yeah, make sure you do check that out. And, yeah, smash a like on here. Like I say, I know a lot of people on playback will do the same. Currently on 13 likes. And, yeah, like I say, 1,801 subscribers. So, big up to yourselves for that. If you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are in the description. Subscribe to the other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra, where obviously I post clips of obviously, you know, stuff on here. And there'll be some clips out as well at some point of stuff that I've discussed today. And yeah, like I say, we'll be back again with a hat show tomorrow. Obviously, I'll put my Premier League predictions out on the community post as well, probably after the hat show. So check them out as well. And big up to everyone that has checked them out as well, because I haven't been promoting them. So yeah, hopefully they just come across your thing, your feed and all that, and you see it. And then yeah, obviously I'll be back again for a watch along on Friday to the West Ham game, back-to-back watch-alongs on Fridays. And then, yeah, there'll be a reaction to the hat show, to the West Ham game at some point. And, yeah, from there on in, I'm not really too sure, because our next game, as it stands, on TV is not until Tottenham, which is October the 7th. But by then, monetisation will be back. So that'll be good. That'll be good, man. And that's an early kickoff as well. So I don't think the people like Spencer will be quite in that one, but big up to anyone, that does tune into that one. But yeah, that is where I'm going to wrap it up. So yeah, big up yourselves and all of that, and I will see you tomorrow for a hat show again. So yeah, till then, take care and peace up the town.